Yeas, 38 days.
So the bill passes. Read the next bill.
Florida's legislature made good on the governor's threat today. The move strips Disney's Special Improvement District, which allows it to govern and tax itself, to build roads, provide power, and some emergency services around its theme parks. It's been that way since 1967.
We call it Epcot.
But things soured when Disney publicly criticized Florida's parental rights and education law, which opponents call Don't Say Gay, because it prohibits public school instruction on sexual orientation or gender identity in grades K through 3.
We're certainly not going to bend a knee to woke executives in California.
This week, Governor Ron DeSantis asked lawmakers to dissolve Disney's special district. Is this retaliation?
No, I don't think so. But I think that when you kick the hornet's nest, I think sometimes issues rise up that you weren't aware of.
Republican State Representative Randy Fine wrote the House bill.
Disney's charter allows them to build a nuclear power plant. And these are not things that may make a lot of sense.
He says taxpayers won't have to foot the bill with Disney out.
What he's saying is absurd.
But Scott Randolph, Orange County's tax collector, says residents could be stuck with a roughly $163 million bill.
For the citizens of Orange County, you're talking a financial fiasco. Anything that comes with a normal municipal government would fall to Orange County with zero additional revenue.
And Manny joins us now. So Manny, there's also another bill with national implications that just passed in Florida, right?
That's right, Nora. Amid protests by some lawmakers who even staged a sit-in, the House gave final approval to the governor's redrawing of the state's congressional map, which is expected to give the GOP 4 additional seats while dismantling 2 districts which are currently held by Black members of Congress. Nora?
Manny Bojorquez, thank you.
It is Friday, April 22nd, 7:03 a.m. This is Good Morning Brownsville, and my name is Frankie Olivo. It seems to be a good and beautiful day today. For the weekend, we should be having sunny skies. The city of Brownsville is looking at a cool, warm and breezy day at 88 degrees. Harlingen, 89. The South Padre Island, the Cabrera boys, are looking at a cool 76 degrees. And again, we shouldn't expect no rain until Tuesday. The weekend does seem to be a beachy weekend. So make sure you go out and enjoy the weather. Again, we shouldn't anticipate rain until Tuesday. Now, they say that men are from Mars and women are from Venus, or so the saying goes. For this past week, we have witnessed the trial of Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It has been very, very ugly so far. Throughout the whole week, we have heard a testimony from Johnny Depp of his nightmare, as he calls it, of being married to Amber Heard. And throughout the trial, his attorneys have been trying to portray his ex-wife as being violent, being belligerent, and constantly harassing Johnny Depp. We have seen how this all arose from Amber Heard's allegations in 2017, 2018 that recently came up of her being the victim of domestic violence. And as we all know, Captain Jack Sparrow, Johnny Depp, and Johnny Depp was always and has always been famous, but it seems as if Pirates of the Caribbean and its series pretty much catapulted Johnny Depp into superstardom. He was already a star, but because of Amber Heard's allegations, Disney, and of course we will be speaking on Disney. Disney is very sensitive to this, as every business organization, and we as well as human beings, we should be very alarmed whenever we hear of domestic violence. Well, Johnny Depp has been canceled. He has not been able to obtain any work. Now we are currently seeing Will Smith go through the same thing as well. Well, throughout the trial, and again, we have heard and video has come up of him acting loopy, him acting very weird, him being under prescription medication. Throughout the trial, we have seen how he has had a drug-infused addiction from time to time. But again, they are trying to portray Johnny Depp as being a victim of domestic violence. And the question is, can men be victims, or is it just the females? And again, we all, we do have a great organization here, the Friendship of Women, that does a great job of reaching out to our community, being there present whenever families are going through tough situations. They help them out with counseling, sometimes with clothes, food, in any way possible that they can. And we support these organizations and nonprofits that are always there, willing to help out individuals, especially individuals of domestic violence. But throughout the whole trial, Johnny Depp is suing his ex-wife for $50 million for canceling him, pretty much, for making accusations that she was the victim of domestic violence, when Johnny Depp is saying, hey, no, it's the other way around. She broke a bottle and I cut my finger. She is the aggressor. She is the one that can't control her alcohol. But can men be victims of domestic violence? Yeah, men can be abused just as women. So what team are you throughout the trial? Have you been team Johnny Depp or team Amber Heard? One thing to think about: defamation of character, and that's one of the big reasons. And we have seen how the whole Harvey Weinstein Me Too movement has just opened up a can of worms, and it has led out many women to come out. Amber Heard is different because Harvey Weinstein was more sexually. He was, forcing women to have sex with him. But we see how people have been more outspoken and more willing to talk about what they have gone through. And this is no different from Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's situation. Now, do I think that, Johnny Depp is all pobrecito? He is the damsel in distress? No, by no means. And me personally, I always blame the man. I always blame the man because, we should always take control of situations and being able to not resort to violence or not resort to that end. But again, it takes two. But is Johnny Depp the victim of domestic violence? Perhaps. That is what his attorneys are trying to convey. Actually, 3 of the 5 victims of domestic violence, according to the same numbers given in one of mine, shows an abuse. And that's the unfortunate reality that we live in. During COVID season, we saw an uprising in domestic violence, in substance abuse, in consumption of alcohol, and other vices and other addictions. But we did see a rise in the lives of many of us during these troubling times. In local news, we have been seeing how the city of Brownsville is transforming. What was once a border city, now it's the city of the Rio Grande Valley, it seems, and has put Brownsville on the map. We have seen how SpaceX and other businesses have come and really changed the landscape geographically. Well, it has also affected people's pockets. Now, with new businesses coming up and Brownsville seeming like the crown jewel of South Texas, we have seen an increase in appraisal values. Now, we have been able to see the change, and we know change is coming. Whenever I think of appraisal value of a home, my automatic thing that comes into my head is, that person upgraded their home. They changed their square footage. They added more square footage. They added they remodeled. They did some sort of improvement to a home. That is the reasons, or the thing that comes into my head whenever I think of appraisal values going up. Why? Because it increases the value of your home, and that also increases your taxes, of course. And other things that we should recognize is, again, the local markets. How is the market? And right now, it's a seller's market. Houses are very, very expensive when they once used to be affordable. And the size of the home, the way the home is designed, the interior, is it designed, a certain way by a certain designer, by an artist, things like that. The neighborhood is a great indication of the market, because if a home on our street is up for sale, we always go check it out and see, okay, well, where is this in the market? How is this priced? And does my house compare to that house on the market? Well, now, because of the way Brownsville has been changing very, very rapidly, now it's not no more on the improvements of your home. Now it is what is happening around us. There are so many things. SpaceX, of course. SpaceX has changed the dynamics of everything. We can go into gentrification, how now it is being not impossible, but harder on individuals to pay rent. Now individuals, it's easier for them to rent than to buy a home, because the homes are a lot more expensive than what people are used to. But we have seen an increase in property taxes. And again, many individuals here down in South Texas, down in Brownsville, we're not able to pay a couple $100 more, a couple $1,000 more in taxes. Now, what happens? What do we do? What do we need to do whenever we get a bill in the mail and it says the appraisal value of your home went up X amount of dollars? Let's say it went up $50,000, $100,000, which we have seen throughout social media, how people have been stating, in the island, it's even worse because as we can all imagine, it's very expensive to be out there, and the condos, beach houses, commercial property went up in value a third, twice, doubled in recent years compared to previous years. But what do we do? What do we do in order for us to try and fix this? Well, we need to protest. We need to issue a notice of protest in writing to the Cameron County Appraisal District. 30 days. You have 30 days from when the appraisal value was issued to be able to get this fixed, so to speak. Now, the deadline for this is approaching. You do have to file a 5132 notice of protest form with the appraisal district, and in most cases we have until the 15th through the 30th. The 30 days. I'm sorry, 30 days. In Cameron County, it is May the 16th. So you need to file a notice of protest in writing. You can either email it to them. Make sure you call them. We have the number here for you, 956-399-6969. If you want to fax it in, it could be in writing. Make sure you state your name, your information, and make sure that you do want to protest. Also, there is an email address that you can direct your notice of protest to, which is protest@Cameron County appraisaldistrict.org. And if mailed, the protest must be postmarked on or before the protest deadline date, again, which is May 16th. And it is very important. Now, it is always best to seek the advice of an attorney when handling these situations. We can present ourselves before this board. And the way it works is a little weird. This board, you get two chances. One, you go and make a protest and you say, hey, look, this is what I feel that it should be at compared to previous years. What do you think? And the board consists of residents, some administration, but residents that are able to hear your case. It's kind of like kind of going before court, pretty much. And you're trying to convince them that, hey, my property value shouldn't have gone up X amount of dollars and it should be at this. And if that doesn't go through, if your protest does not go in your favor, then you could appeal that to a higher court, so to speak. But it is important for us right now, if you are not satisfied with the appraisal value of your home, it is very important for you to act now. We have until May 16th to file our notice. And again, 399-6969 is a fax, or protest@CameronC ad.org. Make sure you mail that in. It is very important. You could save a couple $100, and if you don't do it by May the 16th, you're pretty much saying I'm okay and fine with it. Some individuals don't mind because they are in the process of possibly trying to sell their home, and they're saying, hey, look, this is what it is appraised at, and I like this number, so I'm going to keep it that way. Other individuals who are long-term homeowners and don't see themselves possibly moving in the near future, or maybe they just don't want to pay the taxes. Pretty much, you have until May 16th to let your voice be heard. La protesta se puede hacer en español. Claro que sí. La protesta sí se puede hacer en español. Siempre es recomendable consultar con un abogado. El licenciado Travis Benz de Harlingen tiene mucha experiencia en eso y le puede ayudar. Algunas personas sí han adquirido sus servicios. Otra vez, Travis Benz, el licenciado Travis Benz de Harlingen, pero al igual, la persona individualmente puede hacer su protesta, nomás tiene que asegurarse de que llene los documentos y se los entrega al Cameron County Appraisal District, a estos números, al fax o al email. Pero sí se puede hacer en español. Buenos días, Mr. Hernández. Gracias por estar entre nosotros. My mom, I need my shredder. Okay, mom, I'll take your shredder. Let's not forget about the discrimination against disabled people at a workplace. Many disabled individuals need help at the workforce, and that city doesn't. And I'm guessing the business doesn't have. We could look into this. That's a good point. Let me know what information you have. That way I can look into it. But businesses should try and make their workplace, their environment as accessible as possible to both customers and their employees. But that's something that I can go ahead and take a look at if you'd like. Espinosa, thank you so much. Now, Disney for me has always seemed to be the land of fun and excitement. Right now, Florida, Governor DeSantis has been very, I don't want to say radical in his recent legislations, but now the state of Florida has made it to where students from kinder to third are not taught about gender identity, and it's gone against what Disney is going through. Disney, of course, is a strong supporter of the LGBT community. One of the Disney heirs is herself identifies as a lesbian, and Disney is getting rid of saying ladies and gentlemen, has been getting rid of saying boys and girls, because their mindset is that now, with all the pronouns and the way people identify themselves, that it is rude to classify an individual as being a male or female without asking them or without knowing them, which has gone against the state of Florida. Florida is going against the idea of introducing students at a young age of gender identification. They don't want to introduce that. Well, there is a bitter battle within Disney and Florida. Florida recently did revoke their special tax status, and according to the video that we saw earlier, Disney, since the 1960s, early 70s, they have operated as their own entity. They have been the individuals who have their own fire department. They have their own police. They create their own revenue, and they don't identify. They're a separate entity, so to speak. It is, hundreds of thousands of acres, and this is how it has operated in the last 30 years, 50 years. Well, now has been a change in administrations. The Republican governor has stated that is going to change. And what that has brought upon is the future. Floridians are saying, we're going to get stuck with the bill. Again, Disney is wanting to protect LGBT individuals, especially kids, that they're saying, hey, there is no age when one could identify as however they feel, whether male or female. And here we have the Republicans saying, no, we want them to come of age and them to make that decision after third grade is what? After 10 years old. So what will happen moving forward? And again, it is all because of the phrase, don't say gay. Florida does not want young students, young kids to try and learn about gender identification. They want to avoid that. And what this could lead to is Florida picking up the tab of Disney's Depp if they were to relinquish their status. And again, Disney is a very formidable company. And it is impressive to see how the Republicans, having an election coming up very, very soon, how they've managed to handle this. And DeSantis, as we have heard, DeSantis has been rumored to be a possible running mate for President Trump, as he could be throwing his name once again into the presidential election come 2024. We saw the breakup between Vice President Pence and President Trump towards the end of their administration. So Governor DeSantis, the governor of Florida, he did make this implementation and did pass legislation where Disney could be possibly losing their grip on Florida. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. Good morning, Zuri. Hope you have a good Friday. Thank you for tuning in. And again, our feature story. The city of Brownsville had their State of the City yesterday before a packed audience in the Brownsville Event Center. Mayor Mendez spoke for about an hour or so to a packed house, and the mayor conveyed that the city of Brownsville is on the up and up. He stated how SpaceX has brought in a lot of traction, how they've been able to generate a lot of revenue, and how the company itself has invested in our local area. We got word that now we will be having a third hospital in our city that should be from Edinburgh, the DHR, if I'm not mistaken, the Renaissance, that will be opening up in the next few years. We have seen how the numbers of our population has skyrocketed, and the use of another medical center is important. The mayor also spoke about how the Midi Corporation is developing and has invested large sums of money in downtown Brownsville. They are curating their cultural district, which we do anticipate finishing up in the next year or so, or by the end of this year. And the Midi Foundation are the ones that are trying to, they will be performing a study to see if they can restore the Majestic Theater in downtown Brownsville to try and make it popping again. What was interesting to note again was that SpaceX and 70% of its employees, according to the mayor, were from the Rio Grande Valley. How SpaceX themselves have invested $500 million and will continue to invest a lot more money. That SpaceX is the largest privately owned employer. I mean, many people were questioning, whoa, what about BISD? Well, yeah, BISD is not private; it's the public sector. Now, 885, close to $1 billion of economic output for Cameron County that SpaceX has provided. $1 billion, and what is yet to come. The mayor, was very optimistic about the future of Cameron County, the future of the city of Brownsville, and he was adamant of stating that Brownsville is on the up and up. It was important for us to hear this information. He also talked about how the city has already approved new residential lots, almost 1,400 new lots and 65 new commercial lots. He also talked about Madeira, the famous Madeira, who is very advocately trying to to pass the arena, which we will be talking about more in depth on Monday. The Madeira Company Corporation, they have 1,300 acres off the expressway, which should add $1 billion to our payroll, to the tax roll, once that arena is built. And as we could all imagine, once the arena gets built, plazas are gonna develop, restaurants will open up, bars, a hotel. But again, we'll be going more into detail on Monday. But do we need an arena on the expressway when San Benito, 10, 15 minutes down, is opening up theirs? I don't want to get too caught up. He also talked about how there are plans to renovate the Samano building, which used to be the old Payless, that they will be converting that into a grocery store with some condos, some apartments in the upstairs. We heard throughout the state of the city how Brownsville is on the up and up. What we didn't hear were things that, simple things that we rely on, such as fixing our streets, working on our drainage, working on our infrastructure. And again, I'm not saying that he didn't touch on these things, but the state of the city overall was a great presentation. Brownsville does have a lot to look forward to. SpaceX has really been the economic boom that we really needed. Again, we can argue about the different environmental problems that this has presented to our local ecosystem and our wildlife. But I believe as a consensus, and I'm not saying I'm one of them, but I believe as a consensus that many people in our region, in our area, in our city have been okay with having SpaceX come in, providing jobs, even if that's at the cost of our local habitat. Now, is that right or wrong? That's for you to decide. But SpaceX has garnered a lot of attention throughout the world. It has really put Brownsville on the map. And again, our city is very fortunate because we have an international bridge, we got a port of entry, we got 2 beaches, and we got a zoo. And now we have SpaceX and the world's richest man. That should be the nucleus. That should be the recipe for success. It is with great anticipation that we hope that the mayor's optimism comes true. We do want to see the city of Brownsville thrive. We are excited to see how new jobs are being created, new residential areas are being built. Commercial property is on the up. But again, we should focus on our infrastructure. That is one thing that we need a lot more focus, because again, once it rains, and we have seen about PUB was not mentioned at all. Tenasca, that's a whole different story. But we have a lot more that we need to work on, obviously. Let's focus on our infrastructure. Let's focus on our individuals here, because I think our focus is really on the outside world. We're inviting the world, but at the end of the day, we're forgetting what's important, and it's fixing their roads and making a better quality of life for the citizens of Brownsville. I am optimistic of the future for the city. It was good to see our mayor state the great things that we have coming for the city of Brownsville, and that is the rest of the story. Good morning, Richard. How's it going? The new hospital will be located on East Alton Glore. This is a big plus for our city. East Alton Glore. Is that past Walmart? Past Iturria East, right? Yeah, I'm thinking more that way. I agree. It is going to be great. More opportunity, better competition. Vote no for the arena. We'll be talking about that. I'm a little torn. I'm still making my decision. But again, we will be talking about that on Monday. I am for the arena because I've seen the experience and excitement it brings to the people. Big plus. We'll talk about that on Monday. I'll keep you on the hook. But at some time in the future, you will hear the plans SpaceX. But now we still, where we have always been, Thanks to the leadership, money in the pockets. Let's hope that now more attention is being garnered on SpaceX. We'll be able to have less of that moving forward, guys. It is 7:31 a.m. Friday, April 22nd. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. Can men be victims of domestic violence? Florida is added with Disney over Don't Say Gay. What will happen if Disney stops providing these resources that has been allocated to them since the 60s? Will the citizens of Florida be stuck with the $1 billion bill each year that Disney generates? That remains to be seen. If you want to protest the appraisal of your home, you have until May 16th. You need to do it in writing. Make sure you fax that number that we provided to you and email it to you. Text me or message me if you would like that. You have until May 16th to protest. If not, you're stuck with that until next year. And the state of the city, Mayor Mendez presented a lot of information regarding the future of our city. It looks optimistic. We hope that becomes or turns into fruition. Guys, thank you so much for your time. Hope you have a great weekend. Go out to the beach. I know I will. Happy Friday. God bless.